Hello everyone, and welcome to the Little Dynamite Knits podcast. This is episode number 4. My name is Sarah, and it has been over a month since I last recorded an episode. My last episode was recorded on June 17th, and today is Wednesday. It's July 31st. My notes say July 32nd. Well, and they don't even say 32nd. They say 32ST, 32st. It's been a long day. I've been wanting to record a new episode for a while, and I just haven't been able to pull it together and get in front of the camera. I've been tired lately for no real reason, which is frustrating. But I think part of it was I had a pretty solid month of travel, both work and pleasure. And I also was sick for a few weeks in there too. So I've been a bit of a homebody these last few weeks, and I'm not sorry about it. Have hung out with some friends, met up for dinner, not being a total hermit, but yeah, so work has been busy, but it's going well. Getting a lot of good stuff done this summer before the new school year starts. For those who don't know me or are watching for the first time, I work in school communications for a cyber charter school. Previously, I spent 18 years as a teacher, a music teacher, until I made this transition. So this is my second full summer working. The first summer that I started this job, I started in mid-July. So this is the second year that I have worked straight through the year. So, oh my goodness. I'm going to try not to yawn all throughout this episode, but I wanted to press the record button about 10 minutes ago and kept yawning. And so we're gonna try our best. What else has been going on? Brett and I went to Chicago for a week, which was great. It's one of our favorite cities in this country. We love going there. Usually when we go, we do a lot of eating and drinking, trying out new restaurants, going back to old favorites. Chicago also has a ton of really great cocktail bars, so we always go to a few of those. While we were there, we also saw the Phillies. I'm trying not to yawn. We also saw the Phillies play the Cubs at Wrigley Field, which was awesome. First time at Wrigley Field. It was ballpark number 5 for me. 6 if you count Veterans Stadium, the old ballpark in Philly. Usually when we go see the Phillies play at other ballparks, they lose, but they won this game, so that was great. We had a really good experience there. We got tickets in the Maker's Mark Barrel Room, which is like a speakeasy type club, and all the food is included, and they do specialty cocktails, and the seats are really great. The people who work there were so nice, and the fans were nice. That has been our experience going to all ballparks, is everyone else's fans are so much nicer than our Phillies fans are. It's true. There's no way around it. We also spent one night of our trip, the night after the game, at a hotel called Hotel Zachary, which is literally I can't. The hotel is right across the street from Wrigley Field. I'll put up a photo in this area. That is the entrance of the hotel, the awning over the entrance, with Wrigley Field right across the street, which was so great. To leave a baseball game, walk across the street. Ow, I just hurt myself. Walk across the street, go up an elevator, and get in bed. It was awesome. So another great time in Chicago. I did go to 2 yarn stores while we were there. And I do have acquisitions from both of them, which I will share later. So, I do have another fun trip coming up on Monday. I'll be flying to Seattle, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yes, I'm going to Flock Fiber Festival. I'm so excited, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, let's jump into finished objects. Now, this is going to be an experiment because I cannot show the color of the yarn for my first two projects. I have one finished object and I have one half finished object that I have to finish by the end of Flock. So I'm doing two sample knits for Coley of Pasley Knits. She is an indie dyer in Canada. Her yarn and the bases that she carries are fantastic and her colors are so great. And so she put out a call for sample knitters and I jumped on it. The colors she sent me are awesome. They are part of an upcoming collection, which I believe she has started to tease a little bit on her Instagram, but I am not going to say anything because I've been sworn to secrecy. So I'm going to show these projects and hope that I possess the skills necessary to temporarily put this video in black and white. Otherwise, this video may skip to a later section. We're fingers crossed, we're gonna hope for the best. Okay, so the first project that I did, yes, these are socks. I am sample knitting two pairs of socks. The first is the Amber socks by Vera Valimaki. This is a pattern where you hold two yarns together and it's a DK weight yarn held with a lace of some kind. So Coley sent me her one of her DK bases and her Surrey alpaca lace base. She said two skeins of the DK and one of the Surrey, and I have like almost an entire skein left of the DK. I did have to wind it up and use just a little bit of it, but I have a lot of it left. And then I'd say I have probably half of the Surrey left. I will weigh them and give her more specific information. I'm just not totally prepared to do that right now. The pattern was mostly enjoyable. I have to say, I hate doing it, but a 1x1 twisted rib in this DK and Surrey together, it is so squishy and beautiful. I really love it. This pattern, if you're not familiar, it is a cuff down. I don't like knitting socks cuff down, but I will do it for sample knitting or test knitting. It's just not my preference when I'm doing socks for myself or for people, just of my own, you know, things that I choose to knit. What else? There's a textured pattern that goes all around the leg and then the top of the foot with stockinette on the bottom. There are eyelets throughout the pattern. It's a paid for pattern, but the way the eyelets are done in one spot, it asks you to forget what it asks you to do. I subbed purl two to like regular purl two togethers for it because I was having such a hard time holding the lace weight with the DK and trying to get the needle in, and it was actually hurting my wrists, and it was just so finicky. So I subbed purl two togethers for slip slip purl. That's what I did. I saw several other people had done that in their project notes on Ravelry, and that worked out really well. I'll be honest. All right, I'm gonna hold them up now and hope that I can keep this part of the video. They are so squishy. They really came out. These are blocked. I just have to weave in the ends. So they are like slipper socks. They're real thick. They're super squishy. They feel amazing. Before I washed and block them. I did try them on. Coley and I wear the same size shoe and have very, 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 like pretty much the same foot measurements, which is really great when you're knitting for someone else and you can't measure their foot, because I know my own measurements. I don't think you can even see the eyelet. They're there. You can tell there's something going on. Those eyelet rows, when you wear them, you can see it a little bit more, but the lace kind of fills in the holes created by those eyelets. So you do, I think you lose a little bit of that effect because of, I think with Surrey more so. I'm wondering if these were knit with mohair, if that would come out a little bit more, but the Surrey really kind of takes over sometimes. So those are the amber socks. I think I would knit this pattern again, but with a lot of modifications. I would not do any eyelets, but I would do some texture. I would do the 1x1 ribbing, but I would do these toe up with a gusset and heel flap. So just the reverse of a heel flap and gusset, because they feel so good. Like the DK plus the Surrey just feels so good. I think I might need to make slipper socks for Brent and myself inspired by these. So that is my only completely finished object other than a non-knitting craft, which I'll get to in a little bit. And then I have a half finished object, another pair of socks for Pasley Knits. These are in my Woolens and Nosh 2023 Advent. Perfect sock project bag, especially if you're knitting with 2 yarns held together, because I have the 2 cakes of yarn here. And if I want, I can snap the button and pull out the yarns on either side. But what I usually do is just fold it over and it sits up on its own. It's also covered in cat hair because I have 2 white cats. So, but I love this bag. Okay. So for this, I'm doing the Hibernation House Socks by Lindsay Fowler, who is Larkspur Knits on Instagram. You may also, I think I have it. Yes. She is also the author of this book, Salt and Timber. Beautiful book. A lot of beautiful patterns in this book. Some that have caught my eye are, let's see. There was a pair of socks in here that I want to do. And then there was, there's a real, look at this cardigan. Looks so cozy. Those are cute. Let's see. These are called the Vespertine socks. Let me hide the pattern. Those are fun. Let's see. Hi, Gracie. Gracie just jumped up on the table I'm using. So apologies in advance if things start to go haywire. Oh, there's a really cozy sweater. This is called the Lighthouse Keeper pullover. It's definitely got some fluff in it. Let's see. There are 14 sizes in this sweater. The bust measurements go from 26.5 to 66. Oh, there are young people sizes in here, child sizes as well. Oh my gosh, look at this photo. Look at that. So, beautiful book, Salt and Timber, Lindsay Fowler. And I'm knitting her Hibernation House Socks. This was actually really great because I've had this pattern purchased and in my library for a long time. It's on my list to knit. And so, if you're not familiar with the pattern, for the cuff, you hold a fingering weight together with a lace. So for this, Coley sent me, I think, her salty sock, and again, her Surrey alpaca lace weight. So you knit a very long cuff. For the size that I'm making for Coley, 7.5 inches, I think, for the cuff, but then you fold it over. So I did a German twisted cast on. If I did these again, I would probably do a provisional cast on, like I do when I make the Oslo hat, because it's the same idea where you're folding like the brim up and then knitting it together to make a double thick. Same idea, just with the cuff of a sock. So I didn't do the provisional cast on because I was a little concerned about the stretchiness of the cuff, because they're cuff down socks. Another reason I don't like cuff down socks. Although for this, I don't know. I think this pattern, you've got to do it that way because you're going to want to, Gracie, oh my goodness, she's biting my yarn winder. You're going to want to start with the cuff and fold it over. So, but yeah, so I did a German twisted cast on, and then it's 7.5 inches of 1x1 twisted ribbing. It's worth it, but it was a lot. And I have to do another one. I'm only halfway done this project. I have one sock completely off the needles. The cool thing about this pattern is then you drop the lace weight yarn and you do the rest of the foot, but because you're folding it over, you can weave in those ends. There's only one end to weave in on this sock when it's done, which is awesome. What else? They fit so well. Sorry, the cats. Oh my gosh. They fit so well. This yarn feels great. I will definitely make myself a pair of these. I don't know what else to say. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but it has left my mind. All right, so I'm going to hold these up, and it's either going to work and it's going to be black and white for a little bit, or we're going to jump to the next section of the podcast. Okay. So, hibernation house socks. Here is that thick double cuff in there. And then look at the textured heel. And then you do that same texture on the top of the foot. So, I will do the second one of these before the end of flock because I'm going to give these to Coley in Seattle. So wish me luck on that. All right, moving on to something that I am knitting for myself. And it is my first ever knit garment. It was originally living in this super cute bag that I got from, I'm pretty sure Yarnaceous Fibers, but I bought it at Youngfolk last year from the booth that Yarnaceous Fibers, Pacific Knit Co., and Fangirl Fibers were sharing. So it could have been, I don't know exactly who's responsible for this design, but I love it. And if you, and this is like a Pacific Knit Co. colorwork cow, like the doodle kits. So cute. But seeing as how I'm knitting a garment for myself, it has gotten rather large and doesn't really fit all that well in that bag anymore. So now it is hanging out in my Kelborn Woolens tote bag that I got with my purchase during the Greater Philly Yarn Crawl. All right, so this is an interesting pattern. This has been an adventure. I am knitting the Haiku Cardi, and I actually forget the name of the designer. I will probably put it below, but I'm torn because it is not a size inclusive pattern. It is one that you can make size inclusive somewhat easily, although it is a little bit of an adventure for your first ever garment, having to then that added challenge of like, well, how much more should I do? But there are a few moments in the construction where it's very easy to just keep going to add length or width to the size of the garment. It's just knowing like how much to do. That's the tricky part. I think I did okay with that. I also think I did okay with picking up the stitches, although I am a little concerned that I picked up too many stitches and I'm going to have some bunching. But the yarn is very forgiving, and the pattern is also pretty forgiving. Basically, what you do, the cast on is here. You start with a provisional cast on, and you knit like you're knitting a shawl. Like it looks like a shawl for a good chunk of the beginning of the knitting. I'll put a photo. Then you kind of split in half and you start doing the front panels that will go over your shoulders. This is a paid for pattern. Am I giving away too much? I don't think so. And then you pick up stitches all along the back to join and make the armholes, and then you just knit until it's as long as you want it. So my friend Allie made one of these and I loved hers, and I knew I wanted to make one. Essentially, you're knitting a shawl with armholes, so it seems like a good entry point for a garment knitting. The picking up stitches was a lot because I did upwards of 200 of them. Again, I may have picked up too many, but it's hard to know because I added, I was kind of basing it off of how many the pattern suggested, but also factoring in the additional length that I added or width that I added. So we'll see when it's all done. However, again, the yarn is very forgiving. So I am knitting this in Plymouth Yarn Sea Isle. It is 50% organic Pima cotton and 50% fine merino wool. Plymouth Yarn is a Pennsylvania-based company. Sea Isle, I don't know if this inspired the name, but there is a town down at the Jersey Shore called Sea Isle. And I got the colorway Beach Plum. So it's like this heathered, kind of like purple, grayish purple. I got 5 skeins of it. I am on my 4th skein and then have a 5th skein left. I think I'll have enough. But I'm now at the point where I'm just knitting stockinette, but flat. So knit and then purl, which I don't mind. I have no problem with purling, as long as it's all purl. It's ribbing that I find annoying. I don't mind purling at all. So let's see. I have this on a 60-inch Chalgu size US size 7 60-inch red lace thick circular. So I guess I'm gonna have to stand up. Ugh. Okay, so let's see here. And that's a lifeline in case I messed up the picking up stitches and needed to go back. So there's the armholes, and then the line across the back where I picked up stitches. There is a ribbing band that comes down the front. It is meant to be an open cardigan. So I'm about there. And again, it's bunched here. I think it'll come to like here when it's off the needle, and it's folding in on itself. So once I block it, I think that'll be better. But yeah, so we'll see how long I go. Definitely to like here, but I'm just gonna keep trying it on. And you do a little bit of ribbing for a band at the bottom. It's super lightweight. I do want to wear this at Flock. So what's today? July 31st. So I have tonight, I have tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6-hour flight on Monday. My goal is really to block it before I leave for Seattle, but I'm flying out on Monday. So if I can finish this weekend, block it, take it with me, then I can do the other hibernation house sock while I'm out there, because I can block that in the sink of my Airbnb. So yeah, basically all I'm doing this week is knitting. And then Sunday is when I picked up my stitches. So I have done from here down since Sunday, and it's like 400 stitches around. So I have knit a lot these last couple days. So yeah, that's the haiku cardi. Hopefully next episode, I will be wearing this as a finished object. All right, what do we got next? Oh, okay. Oh, I did not get this. Hold, please. I forgot about this because I have not worked on this lately. This has taken quite a back seat to the sample knits I'm working on and my haiku cardi. But that's okay because this is one of those projects that I just pick up whenever I feel like it. And I don't know when it's going to be finished because I don't know how many colors I'm going to add to it. So this is a Tanny Casey bag, the extra large zip bag, and inside I have my anthology throw by, just drop some yarn, by Curious Handmade. So the last time I showed this, let me find my progress keeper. Last time I showed this, okay, I was just starting this blue section here. So I finished that. I added this color and now I'm on this color here, which is like, it's got like pinks and blues in it. This was one of the sock sets from the La Mercerie Year of Socks. So here's where I am. Colors definitely took a turn. I'm not just blindly reaching in and grabbing yarn. I am kind of choosing what comes next, but I don't know. I'm not sure about this, but it's in there now and I'm not ripping back. So it's a scrappy blanket. I really am enjoying it. It's a fingering weight blanket. And I have, so these are yarns I've already completed or already added to the blanket. I still have, sorry, did y'all see that face I just made? There was a teeny tiny spider in my project bag. I don't feel too great about that. Okay, I think I killed it. Here's what I have. So, yeah, any fingering weight leftovers that I have from now on, I'm gonna add to this bag and just keep Gracie. Well, I guess we're done that color. She just bit the yarn in half. Oh, that's disgusting. Man. We are on an adventure today, y'all. I am sorry for how chaotic this episode is turning out to be. Yeah, I think she also ate some of the yarn. All right, we're gonna put that away and we're gonna figure that out on another day. Life with cats. All right, so anthology throw. Very enjoyable, low stress, low pressure project. And that's it for my works in progress. And actually, so let's talk about some finished objects that aren't knitting. Brett and I took a needle felting class at my local yarn store, Pearls of Wisdom, in Phoenixville. Shout out to them. Love that place. They had a needle felting class and it was knit a beach scene. So Brent and I each did one. Insert photo here. And this is mine. I have never needle felted before, but we had a great teacher. And 2 hours to work on this, and I'm very pleased. I'm gonna hang it here in my office / yarn room. And I actually I had ordered this quite some time ago and just have been a little intimidated by it, but now that I took a class, I feel like I'm ready to jump into this one. And this is from Felted Sky. It's one of their painting with wool kits. So I'm really excited to do this one now that I have done a smaller one and kind of learned a little bit about it. I also got a mat to use to make things a little easier. But let me tell you, Brent is all in on the needle felting. He loved it. And before we left Pearls of Wisdom, he bought 2 small kits, 3D object kits, and he is absolutely, like, just totally hooked. Since we took that class, he has done a little owl, which is up in his office. I don't have that. But then he made me a squirrel. You guys. He did use a kit for this, but he went pretty rogue and kind of like made the body a little plumper, filled out the legs. I love what he did with the tail. And he added an acorn. He totally made this up. Just totally figured out how to make this little acorn and make it so that the squirrel was holding it. So this is my little squirrel. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more needle felting from Brent. So I will share more projects as he completes them. All right, let's talk about acquisitions. So since I last podcasted, the Plymouth yarn that I'm making my haiku cardi out of, this was an acquisition. I ordered this through Yarning Town, which is a yarn store in Downingtown. So this came after my last episode, and I also ordered for another garment, not that if you watched the last episode, you may remember I thought I was going to knit both of these before flock. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. But I have 9 or 10 of these Sandnes Garn Lina, which is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen. These are 50 grams with 110 meters. I do not know how many yards that is, but I got the colorway 6061. 6061. So I have a bunch of these, which I'm going to use to make the 2 for tank. I don't know when I'm going to start it. It seems not like the best idea to start a tank that I'm not going to be able to wear for a while. But I also don't know that I'm going to be able to wait that long. So maybe I'll start this when I get back from flock, and I can at least wear it in September, maybe. We'll see. Or I could wear it under a cardigan. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. We'll see. So I got those, and then in Chicago, the first yarn store we went to is called Yarnify, and they carry leading men fiber arts who are based in Clinton, Illinois. So I've known about their yarn and have seen other people use it and talk about it, but I've never seen it in person. So look at that. This is their Diva base, which is a 600 yards, 150 grams, 2-ply, 80/20. 80% superwash merino, 20% not nylon, but silk. It is so good. The colorway is blue steel, and again, that's 600 yards. I'm thinking a super drapey shawl of some kind. And then we went to Knit One LLC, and they are a Lobby NME stockist supplier, and the people who work there are absolutely lovely. I was there for quite some time. Brent dropped me off and then went to check out a different store. And I kind of just like made myself at home for upwards of half an hour while I tried to make a decision. And that decision was what to get for my traveler shell. When Susan and I went down to Yarn Centric and Maryland Sheep and Wool, we met Amy of Lobby NME at the Forever Yarn booth, and she had a sample of the traveler shell knit in the Yellow Brick Road colorway. It was yellow. And Susan and I both were we knew we had to make that pattern after seeing that. So I've been kind of going back and forth on what color I wanted to get the helix base in. So for my size, I'm gonna need 3 skeins of helix or felix or alix, and I think 5 skeins of Kumo or lace weight. And so they had a few different colors of the helix that were very pretty, but there was one particular green color that I really thought I wanted, but that was until I saw this. And it's so not like what I would normally go toward, but are you ready? Look at that color. This is Vintage Barn. And I typically do not buy clothing anywhere near orange or even red. Like this maroon that I'm wearing is as close as red as I'll usually get. And I usually don't even go near orange. This is like a red orange. And I just fell in love with it. Now the question becomes, what color do I hold it with for the lace weight yarn? We pulled out a couple skeins while I was in the shop. Some very interesting combinations. I'll put like a couple photos here. I have to say this like dusty pinky color, I'm having a hard time imagining what it would look like with this, but like I feel like it would work. Again, so not what I would usually go for. But the woman who helped me at the store was incredible, and she was just blowing my mind with possible combinations. So I got my helix, so I'm one step closer to knitting my traveler shell. But I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna make a quick decision on what I put it with. I'm gonna take my time. All right, 2 more acquisitions, and one is yarn and one is not, but they do go together. So I am doing Lauren's Mystery Cookware Club, Lauren of Little Fiber Co. And so each month you get it's a tonal club, and inspired by colorways of Le Creuset cookware. So I don't remember which month is which, but I think they go, let's see, I think they go in this order. So I have 6 so far. So I have through June. It's July 31st. So I'm pretty sure if you're in the club, you've gotten your June. I imagine July will be coming at some point soonish. But ta-da! I think this is the order. Like, I think this is, this blue is January. I may have these mixed up. I'm not sure. They're so fun. And all of her bases are non-superwash. So this is her 100% non-superwash Merino DK, 20.5 microns, 4-ply, 100 grams, 231 yards. And I am saving these till the end of the year. And then I'm going to knit a blanket with these and a main color to be determined once I have all these colors. So I got my most recent skein of that. And then Hello Lavender, which Reshma, who is working with Lauren to make a stitch marker to go with each colorway of the Cookware Club. I did not subscribe at that level, so I don't get the markers every month, but there was a little bit of overflow. So I got, I think this is Time. And then the Cherry Red. Look how good. It's like, I don't know if you can tell, it's like kind of sparkly. How good are those? They were so good, I could not resist. And they come in these super cute little pouches, which are great for storing things in. All right, is that it? Is that it? I think that's it. All right, cool. So, future plans. I think my next cast on, maybe the 2 for tank when I get back, but also I need to start Brent's Old Man Sweater. So I have 10 skeins of Barocco Ultra Wool, colorway 33108, if that means anything to you. This is the color he picked out for his Rough Edges cardigan. Insert photo there. This is going to be a Hanukkah / Christmas present. But I want to get a jump on knitting it and start working on it as soon as possible. So this will be one of my near immediate future cast-ons, along with maybe the 2 for tank, and then and work on my Felted Sky needle felting kit. Other than that, I don't really have any plans right now, but those are big ones, so I think they'll keep me busy. I may probably cast on a pair of socks because I do always like to have a pair of socks going. I did also wind up yarn for a Manhattan hat, but Woolberry, I wound up 2 skeins of Woolberry yarn on different bases that I was going to hold together. But she just recently announced that she's doing a marled make-along in the fall, so I'm going to wait to cast on the hat until then and use that yarn for the marled make-along. All right, we have arrived to almost the end of this episode, but I want to talk a little bit about Flock Fiber Festival. So last year was the first year for Flock Fiber Festival, and I, like I'm sure many who weren't there, had the most intense FOMO that I've experienced in a long time. It just looked like such a beautiful event. And so this year, as soon as tickets went on sale, I bought them, and I will be flying out to Seattle on Monday. The festival doesn't start, depending on if you're taking classes or not. It either starts on Friday or Saturday, but because I wanted to fly JetBlue Mint out of JFK, the best prices were to go out for almost a full week. So I'll be flying out on Monday. I have an Airbnb for the first part of the trip, and then I'm gonna move out of the Airbnb and into a hotel that I was able to get for an additional extra night, because my flight home the following Sunday does not leave until pretty late, and I didn't want to have to check out and deal with the luggage and going to the second day of the marketplace and all of that. So I'll be able to leave my stuff, go enjoy, and then come back to my room and pack up. And unfortunately, the Airbnb, when I had this idea to do this, at that point the Airbnb had already booked up for the night that I originally was going to check out. So I arrive late on Monday. Monday and Tuesday, I don't know what I'm doing. Wednesday and Thursday, I am working half days. I'm gonna work afternoons East Coast time, but mornings Pacific Coast time. And then Friday, I'm taking 2 classes. I'm taking Maker Anatomy with Andrea of the Knitting PT. And then I'm taking a seaming and finishing class with, give me 1 minute, with Kira Delaney. So I'm really excited for both of those classes. And then Saturday and Sunday, I have marketplace tickets for both days. I'll probably be there right when it opens on Saturday morning. Sunday, I may sleep in a little bit and go a little later. We'll see. And I have a ticket for the rooftop rendezvous on Saturday night as well. I'm so excited. The only thing I think that would make this better is if we're going with another fiber loving friend, but I will be traveling solo for this one. So if you're watching this and you're going to be at Flock, leave me a comment and let me know. And I would love to meet you and say hello. I'm really excited to meet a lot of people, to see some people again. I am going to try to meet up with some of my favorite indie dyers. Still working out plans, but I'm just so excited. I think I will be checking a bag because of anticipated purchases. I was going to do a carry-on, but the more I think about it, I think I'm going to need a little more room in the suitcase. Like if I bring a suitcase that is already completely packed, it's going to be a problem when it's time to fly home. So I'm going to bring the big one and check it, and then I will have room for any lovely items I decide to bring home with me. So it has been over 45 minutes. I have covered everything on my list. So I hope to record my next episode much sooner than it took me to record this one. Okay, come here. Oh, we almost got to the end. So hopefully, okay then. Hopefully I'll be coming back sooner this time, and we'll have lots of fun stories and beautiful things to share from my time at Flock Fiber Festival. Thank you for watching. I have 22 subscribers now, and I only think maybe half of them are friends of mine. So if you are someone I don't know who chose to subscribe to this, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this and you would like to see more or keep up with my projects, especially as I knit more garments, subscribe. I would love to have you come back for the next one. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the little like button. Please leave me a comment and let me know what was your favorite part or what you're working on, or if you have any questions. And I will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.